Welcome to Timeshare Talks for Consumers. And my name is John Raymond. I'm your host, and our co-host tonight is Irene Parker. Our guest is Bernadette from Oklahoma. And a little bit about me. I'm a timeshare resale broker. I help people buy and sell their timeshares. I've been doing that for about over 20 years now, and I have a lot of happy people. Irene Parker, she's been a good friend of mine for many years now and has helped a lot of people who I couldn't help sell their timeshare. So we'll be interviewing Bernadette from Oklahoma. And so Bernadette, we are really excited to see you here tonight. Last week, we missed you. You had an emergency, and we went over, Irene Parker went over quite a bit of the background of your, what you wanted to talk about tonight. And so why don't you give us a little bit of a overview of what Irene gave us?
Yeah, I watched, I'm sorry I couldn't be here last week, but I did watch the video afterwards, and you guys did a wonderful job. I did purchase the timeshare in for Polo Towers, and we purchased every other year, and we had a deed, and we enjoyed it. And then, like Irene said, Fred had a heart attack, and then we were still enjoying a little bit, but then Fred ended up with a stroke. And we have two children, and it could go to them if they wanted it, but one child has autism and the other child has no interest whatsoever to go to Vegas. So in 2017, Fred had a stroke. In 2018, we purposely went to an update because we wanted to get out of our contract. You know, we wanted to sell back, and because I was foreseeing that with Fred's health diminishing, we wouldn't be able to use it anymore. Well, they told us we couldn't sell back. Nobody would want it. We needed to switch over to points that they were trying to get us to convert for years, but we liked what we had. But to get out of it, we thought, okay, if we need to go into points, that way our kids don't get stuck with it, we'll switch over to points. Never mentioned anything about the transition program or anything. We found out that much later on. After the update there, they gave us and switched us over. We went to Hawaii. They gave us this freebie trip supposedly to Hawaii. So we went to Hawaii. We thought, oh, what a nice way to celebrate our anniversary. We took my sister with. Fred was in a wheelchair for long distances because he has a hard time walking and everything. So we had to tote this wheelchair throughout Hawaii with us. And they told us that the Vegas people gave us the wrong information. Our children would still be stuck with this timeshare. I says, but my kids don't want it. We really didn't want it. We asked them to get out of it. They told us the only way to get out of it was to go and buy the points. They said, no. You have to switch over to the Hawaii points because otherwise you're going to get stuck with your kids getting stuck. We said, okay, fine. So we went to purchase Hawaii points. Well, they told us, you know, so we signed all the contracts. I borrowed money off my sister for the down payment because we had no extra money. We didn't have no extra Visa cards or anything with us. We had plain vacation money. So my sister paid up down payment for it. And now we have another contract with payment. Otherwise, when we had a contract, put on a Visa card on Diamond's Visa card, Barclays. So now we have Barclays card to pay for plus a loan with Hawaii. When we got back, about a year afterwards, I think, when we got back, Missouri office said, "Oh, we're having an update in Tulsa, so why don't you come meet us? We'll update you on everything and everything." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I thought in my head, maybe this is the time, because Hawaii said that they would buy back the points. I thought, well, maybe this is a good time to like say, hey, we really can't use this. My husband's health is deteriorating even more so. And the woman told us, no, she says, and you have the Hawaii points. You need to shift back to the U.S. points. And I said, why? I says, Hawaii said that Vegas was wrong, that they were right. Now you're saying that that's not going to work either. She said, but we can get you a cheaper interest rate on your loan. And I thought, well, this will be good. She says the monthly payment bill will be a little bit higher. And I said, well, that's workable. And it'll be lower interest rate. So I'll be saving money in the long run. And then she also said that in the near future, Hawaii was going to have another $3,000 assessment fee. And I said, oh God, I can't afford that. So that really made me go and sign the contract with her. And so I was like, okay, fine. And then I find out later on, when I was looking into a lawyer to get out of it, because everybody's telling me I can't. Well, the lawyer, I couldn't afford him, so he referred me to Irene. And Irene was like, oh, we can write to Diamond and see what they say. We wrote to Diamond. They said, no, you signed a contract. And so I was like, oh my goodness, now we're in default. And when I wrote to Diamond, they had a woman call me, and she told me that she told me about transitions. I told her, what program are you telling me about?
No.
I never heard about transitions. And it's like, I could have saved all this money. You know, I could have just paid $1,000, which would have been a lot cheaper. It's still a scam to me, you know, when you look at the whole thing. But I could have been out of this. So, yeah. So now I'm in default and just trying to still work it out with Diamond.
Well, you're in default, so are you receiving any collection calls?
I receive a collection call every month, once a month or so. I've got 4 phone numbers in my cell phone.
Oh.
And when they call, I don't answer because they're going to start recording. And it's like, no, I want out. The first couple of times I did answer it. And it's like they're just after their money. They don't care, you know. And I told them I'm working with this other lady, you know. I wrote to Diamond. I'm working with her, and then she's like, she told me to give her 2 appointment dates and times. My sister was here and she was going to help, you know, tell her, you know, yeah, I was there too. You know, I heard the conversations. I saw the conversations. I lent my sister the down payment. I gave my sister money to pay off the credit card, you know, for the first loan. And we waited 4 hours total, you know, 2 hours one day, 2 hours another day. The woman never called me back.
Oh. So what is you mentioned that you had launched a Change.org petition? What is that about?
Oh yeah. Well, when I complained to the Missouri District, the Missouri Attorney General's office, I always get names mixed up. I put in my concern to them, a complaint about lying and stuff, and all the deceit. And the last response was from them was that Diamond had more or less just said, I signed a contract, I'm obligated to it, and I told them, and they told me to get a lawyer. And it's like, it got me so mad. They're telling me to get a lawyer, but then I saw this YouTube video of Michael Flaskey and a former Missouri Attorney General representative. It was like, they're telling me not to get a lawyer. They're saying lawyers are clowns. They're saying it's not good to go to the lawyer, to go to them. And I'm just like, I went to you guys. You guys are telling me nothing. You're not doing nothing for me. And you're telling me not to go to the lawyer in the video, but then you're telling me to go to the lawyer through your agency. And it was like talking one thing and saying another thing on the other side, like a two-edged sword type of thing. It got me so mad. It's like, this is ridiculous. There's got to be a way to stop people from misrepresentation.
And so what is change.org petition?
It is to take down the Michael Flaskey and the Missouri Attorney General's video, to take it off of YouTube, because it's false. Because if you go to them, they're not helping rectify anything. They're saying don't go to a lawyer, but then on the other hand, they're telling you to go on to a lawyer. So they're telling lies. They're telling me one thing, but they're telling the general public another thing.
Well, in defense of the Missouri Attorney General, he's not on the YouTube. The former Arizona Attorney General is on the YouTube, but you did receive the letter from the Missouri Attorney General saying to get a lawyer, right. And it was the former Arizona Attorney General that said, and they hire these storefront clowns,
right?
And the last thing on the YouTube is Mr. Flaskey saying, and they could have just called Diamond Resorts. And that didn't work for you.
No, I called and she let me hang for a total of 4 hours.
Well, Irene, what is now when I think of a petition, change.org petition, what does that mean? Is that something I can sign?
Yes.
Oh, you haven't signed it.
No.
No. Oh my goodness! I'm going to have to send it to you.
No, where would I find it? Will our guest tonight be?
Oh yeah, we'll put it below the screen. Okay. So okay. So anyone can do a change.org petition. Bernadette has 13,000 views and 99 shares and over 560 signatures. And Diamond Resorts, Wyndham, Bluegreen, Hilton, they should all be on our side, as Wayne said, you cannot believe anything a sales agent says. Mm-hmm. And the person that responded to Bernadette was the same person that responded to another Diamond member. And in his case, a member had recorded a sales agent brazenly defrauding a program on how to eliminate maintenance fees. And that happened in Missouri. That agent was transferred to Virginia. We received 6 more complaints. And even though there was no proof, only the 1 out of 7 recorded him, all the other 5 disputes were resolved. But before the one was resolved, the same person that responded to Bernadette sent this message. As we were not present during the presentation, we can only go based on the written agreement between you and the site executing this contract. After reading your assertions and reviewing the contract, we feel there has been no misrepresentation. So there are one-party and two-party states. So in Nevada, Arizona, Virginia are the states I know you can record without the other person aware. In Florida and California, you are not allowed to record without the other person aware. So we want to raise consumer awareness and to tell people to record the sales presentation, because when people have recorded the sales presentation, they were able to easily resolve their dispute, although the company says without liability. So that just adds to the premise that the company is not taking any responsibility for sales agents that deceive.
And,
so
and why would I want to sign a petition of change.org? What is the goal of the petition?
It's to get the video off the air, just to get the YouTube off, because we don't want anybody else being misled that lawyers are bad. You know, there are good lawyers out there. You know, Diamond is saying that come to me. You know, we'll take care of you. I know several people that I'm in a group, and they said that they've gone to them. They haven't been taken care of. Some have, you know, I'm not saying that everybody doesn't get help, but the majority of them don't.
Yes. I've heard the same thing from people calling me. Some have been helped and some haven't been helped.
And Bernadette, do you mind sharing, you had no loan, to summarize, you had no loan. Your husband had a heart attack at a young age in 2006. In 2017, he had a stroke. So you're terrified that something could happen to him and you'd lose his Social Security and whatever income. And so you attend a presentation, and despite the fact that there was a transitions program in place, which you had never heard of, you were told that you had to convert your deed to points, but then your deed did not get converted, correct?
Right. Now I've got 2 maintenance fees, and they're considered that they did change it to points, but they didn't merge it. So it's like 2 separate entities. And it's like, I wasn't told that. I was told it was going to be one contract. It was going to blend in and maybe 1 maintenance fee, not 2 maintenance fees. So that was like false from the start. And I didn't find that out until I got my first maintenance fee bill.
And then you went to Hawaii and they said that Hawaii points could be sold.
Yep.
Okay.
And then when I went back to the US, they told me, no, they can't be sold here. You have to convert to US points, and Hawaii's going to have extra maintenance fees in a couple of months.
And I'm positive there was no $3,000 special assessment.
No, because on the one website I'm on with other people, I had asked, you know, people in Hawaii, you know, did you get another maintenance fee? And everybody said, no, we didn't.
A $3,000. That's a $3,000 special assessment.
Yeah.
So do you mind sharing what was the amount of your loan that you ended up with and the money you lost?
It was about, well, after like, it was about $52,000 or something by the end of everything.
For the loan?
But what I had already paid out was like 26. And that's borrowing about, what was it? Almost 20, no, what was it? About 1,600 off my sister, or I mean 16,000 off my sister. So yeah.
And this is about
And I
vacation.
had no loan. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm sorry. That makes me mad.
Well, it could piss anybody off.
I try to watch my mouth.
Well, I am so glad that you shared your story. I think it's important to know. I mean, this is just devastating.
Yeah,
And
well, I went back to the Missouri. I went back to Diamond last week, like you had explained. So I'm hoping I'll hear something next week that's positive, and hopefully I can share it.
Yes.
no, because I have the exact response from the same person that since we were not present during the presentation, we can only go by what's in the written agreement. And unfortunately, there was someone at Diamond that was listening. And there have been many people who have resolved their disputes, but it seems like it's gone back to this auto knee-jerk. You signed a contract. We're not responsible for what our sales agent says, which is hypocritical on that YouTube. And the YouTube is about sending a warning about exit companies.
Yeah.
And the comment on that YouTube and they just lie to you and they make our customers worse off than they were before.
Diamond made it worse off.
And you know, so this is what set Bernadette off, and you can't blame her, you know, and she's now, I think in a future interview with Bernadette, she's waiting for Diamond to get back with her, but her next step is to do a public records request to see how many complaints have been filed, Missouri Attorney General. So it's like, thank you, Bernadette, for sharing your story. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening and sharing with everybody else. Because I don't want people falling in my dilemma.
Yeah, we're going to follow your saga and we're going to have you back for sure. So thank you very, very much. And Irene, thank you. And I think... and
Irene will post the link, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have links down below. They can... and I'm going to even look at this petition.
We will post the link to the change.org petition.
And we have another show coming up, Irene. Who's our guest?
Karen Levins is in Ontario, Canada, and they were owners at the Wyndham Carriage Ridge and Carriage Hills Resort. And that resort would not let anyone out of the timeshare. I don't care how debilitating your medical condition. And if you died, they would go after your kids and grandkids for maintenance fees. And so Karen and a group of volunteers led the effort that resulted in BDO, a strategic accounting firm, conducting a survey, and it turned out less than 13% wanted Wyndham Carriage to remain a timeshare. So both resorts have been sold. They actually did a GoFundMe to pay my expenses to attend their annual meetings. And the first meeting had to be canceled because the building only held 300 and over 1,000 showed up. So it was quite a Woodstock moment, to date myself. But we're really looking forward. I know Karen very well, and I'm looking forward to hear her talk about the process that they went through to affect change.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for tonight. And thank you all for watching, and Bernadette for being with us. Irene, we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay,